Welcome back to Real Family Secrets. Some betrayals arrive with a confession. Mine arrived as a plane ticket. On the night of our 15th wedding anniversary, I found a boarding pass in my wife's purse. It was for a flight to Paris. The passenger was not me. My name is Owen Carter, and until that night, I thought I knew what my marriage looked like. Emma and I had been together for nearly 18 years. We met in college, in a crowded library during finals week. She had taken the last chair near an outlet, and I asked if she could move her bag. She looked at me like I had personally offended her. "You can sit on the floor," she said. "The floor is free." I sat on the floor. 2 hours later, she offered me half of her coffee. 15 years after our wedding, we still joked about that day, or at least I thought we did. We had built a normal life, a house outside Boston, 2 cars that needed more repairs than either of us wanted to admit, a daughter, Hannah, who was 13 and believed every adult over 40 had forgotten how the internet worked. Emma taught art at a private middle school. I worked as a financial planner. Our lives were not perfect. We argued about money sometimes, about work schedules, about who forgot to buy dog food, but I thought we were solid. I thought 15 years meant something. Mones. Our anniversary fell on a Friday in October. I had made a reservation at Bellini's, a small Italian restaurant downtown where we had gone on our first anniversary. The place was old-fashioned in the best way. Dark wood tables, low amber lights, a pianist near the bar who always played songs that made people remember things they had not thought about in years. I had also bought Emma a necklace, nothing extravagant, just a thin gold chain with a small oval pendant. On the back, I had engraved the date we met. I never gave it to her. Emma came downstairs at 6:30. She wore a dark green dress and the earrings I had given her for our 10th anniversary. For a second, she looked exactly like the woman I had married. Then her phone lit up on the kitchen counter. She looked at the screen and smiled. It was not a big smile, but it was not a smile meant for me. "Ready?" she asked. "Almost." She reached for her purse. It was a large black leather bag she had been carrying for years. She loved that purse, called it practical, because it could hold everything. That night, it held more than I understood. We drove downtown. Emma talked about school. One of her students had painted the vice principal as a dragon. Another had glued macaroni to a self-portrait and called it modern expression. I laughed in the right places. I even reached across the center console and took her hand. She let me hold it, but she did not squeeze back. At Bellini's, the hostess led us to a table near the window. It was the same table where I had asked Emma 15 years earlier whether she wanted to renew our vows someday. Back then, she had smiled and said, "Only if you promise not to make me wear white twice." That memory came back as I watched her sit across from me. Her phone stayed on the table, face down. "You look beautiful," I said. "Thank you." She said it automatically. Then she picked up the wine list. Dinner began quietly. We ordered wine. We talked about Hannah's upcoming school trip. Emma mentioned that her sister Claire was thinking about visiting next month. I had always liked Claire. She was loud, impulsive, and incapable of keeping a secret for more than 5 minutes. That was why what happened next mattered. The server came over to refill our water. Emma's purse slipped from the edge of her chair. It landed on the floor beside me. I bent down to pick it up. The zipper had opened. A white envelope slid halfway out. It had the logo of an airline printed in dark blue across the front. I did not mean to look, but my name was not on it. Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. Departure, Monday morning. Return, Thursday evening. There were 2 boarding passes. One belonged to Emma Carter. The other belonged to Julian Mercer. I knew that name. Julian Mercer had been in Emma's college art program. She had mentioned him once or twice over the years. Julian is opening a gallery in New York. Julian got divorced. Julian always thought he was more talented than everyone else. I had never met him, but I knew he was married. My hands stayed still. That surprised me. I expected shock to feel like a punch. Instead, it felt like cold water filling a room. I put the envelope back inside her purse. Then I placed the purse beside her chair. "Thank you," Emma said, without looking up. She did not know. Not yet. The rest of dinner was one of the longest hours of my life. Emma told me she was planning a girls' trip with Claire after our anniversary, just a few days away. You know, museums, shopping, a little break. Paris? She looked up. Maybe. Claire found a cheap flight. That sounds nice. Her eyes searched my face. You don't mind? Why would I? She looked relieved. That relief stayed with me. She thought I had accepted the lie. I had simply decided not to interrupt it yet. Dessert arrived. Tiramisu for Emma. Espresso for me. I had planned to give her the necklace after dessert. Instead, I touched the small box inside my jacket pocket and left it there. Then Emma's phone rang. "It's Claire," she answered quickly. "Hey Claire, we're at dinner." "Oh my God, Owen is there. Put me on speaker." Emma's face changed. "Claire, no," but it was too late. "Owen, happy anniversary, and congratulations on the surprise trip. I can't believe Emma is finally doing it." The restaurant sounds seemed to disappear. "What surprise trip?" I asked. Claire went silent. "Oh, I thought..." Emma closed her eyes. "Claire, I'll call you later." The call ended. Emma looked across the table at me. "Owen, your sister thinks I know about the trip. I was going to tell you." "When?" She did not answer. "Who is Julian Mercer?" Her face went pale. I did not need another answer. "He's an old friend." "Old friends do not need you to tell your husband you are traveling with your sister. It's not what you think." "Then tell me what I think." She looked down at the wine glass between her hands. "Julian and I reconnected earlier this year." "How?" "Online. And we started talking." "And?" "It became more than talking." I looked out the window. Cars moved through the wet city streets. People hurried beneath umbrellas. A couple across the restaurant laughed over something I could not hear. The world did not stop. Mine did. How long? 5 months. 5 months. 5 months of phone messages. 5 months of late nights. 5 months of her changing passwords and turning her screen away from me. I had noticed all of it, and I had told myself trust meant not asking. "I didn't want to hurt you. You booked a flight to Paris with another man. I know. You used our anniversary dinner to tell me you were going away with your sister. I know. Did you think I would never find out?" She looked at me. "I thought I could figure it out before it got worse. You planned a 4-day trip to Paris. It was already worse." I did not yell. I did not stand up and make a scene. I had no interest in turning strangers into witnesses of my worst night. I paid for dinner. I left the necklace in my pocket. Outside the restaurant, Emma followed me to the car. "Please say something. I have said enough tonight. Are you going to leave me?" I looked at her. "I don't know yet, but I know you are not going to Paris with our money and expect me to wait here while you decide whether our marriage matters." Her crying stopped. "What does that mean?" "It means you are going to give me the booking details, the hotel information, any account you used to pay for this, and then we are going home. You can't control me. You're right. I cannot control you, but I can control what I continue funding, what I sign, what I accept, and what I do next." Wow. We drove home in silence. Emma cried most of the way. I felt no satisfaction. Betrayal does not make you feel powerful. It makes you feel foolish for having loved someone honestly. At home, Hannah was asleep. Her bedroom door was half open. A small lamp glowed beside her bed. Her backpack sat on the floor, half packed for school. I stood in the doorway for a moment. I knew that whatever happened next, I had to keep this from becoming her burden. "You sleep in the guest room tonight," I told Emma. "Owen, please, not tonight." I went into my office, closed the door, and opened my laptop. I did not search through Emma's private accounts. I did not guess passwords. I reviewed only the financial information I had lawful access to: our joint savings, our shared travel card, and the household budget. The Paris tickets had been charged to our joint travel card, $4,800. The hotel deposit had come from our savings account, $2,100. Then I found another expense, a private airport transfer, a reservation for two. Emma was not taking a spontaneous vacation. She had built a plan. The next morning, I called an attorney. Her name was Rachel Monroe. Rachel had helped several clients from my financial planning firm navigate divorce and asset separation. I had recommended her to other people before. I never thought I would need her myself. "Owen," she said after I explained the basics, "you need to slow down before you make any financial changes. I don't want to punish Emma." "Good. Then don't take impulsive action, but do protect yourself, preserve records, separate future income appropriately, review joint obligations, and document the trip expenses. She leaves Monday. Then we can file for temporary financial protections before that. It does not mean you are declaring war. It means she cannot empty accounts or incur large shared debts while you are trying to understand what comes next." I nodded. "Do it." I met Rachel that afternoon. We reviewed everything. Our home was jointly owned. My retirement account had existed before our marriage, but contributions during the marriage had to be considered. Emma's teacher pension also mattered. We had a college fund for Hannah. That fund was not going to become collateral for someone else's affair. Rachel prepared a petition for temporary financial orders. It was not a revenge document. It did not accuse Emma of being evil. It simply required that major financial decisions be paused and shared funds be preserved until a formal agreement could be reached. It also documented the Paris charges. When I returned home, Emma was waiting in the kitchen. She looked as if she had not slept. "Where were you?" "With an attorney." She sat down slowly. "You're filing for divorce." "I'm protecting Hannah, the house, and the money we built together." I said I was sorry. "You said you were sorry after I found the tickets." "I'll cancel the trip." "Do you want to cancel it because you no longer want to go?" She said nothing. "Or because you know I will not keep pretending you're going with your sister?" She looked down. "I don't know." "Then we have our answer." Emma did not cancel the flight. That was the moment I stopped hoping she would. She said she needed space. She said she needed to think. She said Julian understood her in ways I no longer did. I listened. Then I continued making decisions. I changed the future household budget. I moved my direct deposit into a separate account Rachel had confirmed was appropriate to use for new income, while continuing to meet every legal obligation toward the house, Hannah, and shared expenses. I froze no cards. I did not cut Emma off. I did not try to strand her, but I ended the automatic transfer into the travel account. I would not finance a romantic trip designed around a lie. Sunday night, Hannah came into my office. "Dad? Hey, sweetheart. Is Mom mad at you?" That question hurt more than the ticket. "No. Mom and I are dealing with some grown-up problems. Are you getting divorced?" Children do not need every detail, but they deserve honesty that does not damage them. "I don't know what will happen," I said, "but I know this. Both of us love you. None of this is your fault, and you will always have a home with me." Hannah nodded. Then she hugged me. I held on longer than I should have. Monday morning arrived too quickly. Emma left for the airport at 7. She wore a cream-colored coat and carried a small suitcase. I had seen her pack for trips before: family vacations, weekend visits to her mother, our 10th anniversary trip to Vermont. That morning, she packed like she was leaving a life behind. "Are you coming?" she asked. "To the airport?" "Yes." "No." She nodded. "I thought you would try to stop me. You wanted to go." She stood at the door for several seconds. I don't know what I'm doing. That is the first honest thing you've said in days." Then she left. I watched through the window as her car turned down the street. I did not chase it. At 9:15, Rachel called. "The temporary financial order has been filed. Emma's attorney will be notified today." "Thank you. How are you holding up?" I looked at the empty driveway. "I'm not sure yet." "You don't have to be sure today." I hung up. Then I did something I had not planned to do. I called Julian Mercer's wife. Her name was Natalie. I had found it through a public gallery announcement from the year before. I did not call to insult her. I did not call to unload my anger onto a stranger. I called because she deserved to know the truth before her husband boarded a plane with my wife. She answered on the third ring. "Hello? Natalie Mercer?" "Yes. Who is this?" "My name is Owen Carter. I'm Emma Carter's husband." Silence. "Okay. I'm sorry to call you this way, but I believe your husband is flying to Paris this morning with my wife." Natalie did not speak for several seconds. "No." "I have the flight details." "No." "Julian is in Chicago for an art fair." That is what Emma told me about her trip too. A different story. Same flight. I sent her copies of the tickets, hotel reservation, and a few messages Emma had voluntarily shown me during our conversation at home. I removed anything unrelated to the affair. Facts, no insults. Natalie called me back 10 minutes later. He told me he had a business meeting. "I'm sorry. What are you going to do?" "I have already done what I needed to do legally. I'm not calling to decide for you. But if you want to go to the airport, you should know they are departing from Terminal E. Flight 318. Her breathing changed. "I'll be there. I'll be there." I did not go to the airport to stop Emma. That mattered to me. I was not there to drag her home. I was not there to beg. I was not there to create a public spectacle. I was there because I had spent 15 years being the last person to know the truth. I was done being lost. Terminal E was crowded. Rolling suitcases, children crying near security, business travelers staring at phones, airport announcements cutting through the air every few minutes. I stood near a coffee kiosk across from the gate. I wore a dark coat and carried nothing but my phone, my wallet, and the small jewelry box still sitting in my jacket pocket. I had brought it without thinking. At 10:42, I saw Emma. She walked toward the gate with her suitcase behind her. She looked nervous, not guilty enough to turn around. Then Julian appeared from the other side of the terminal. He was taller than I imagined. Gray scarf, expensive coat, a leather carry-on. He smiled when he saw Emma. She smiled back. For 1 second, I felt something sharp inside me. Not jealousy, grief. Then I saw Natalie. She had arrived. She stood several feet behind Julian, still wearing a work badge around her neck. Her hair was tied back. Her face was pale but steady. She looked like a person who had driven too fast, parked anywhere she could, and walked into the worst truth of her life without taking time to prepare. Boarding began. Now boarding Group 1 for Flight 318 to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Julian reached for Emma's hand. Then Natalie spoke. "Julian." He froze. Emma turned. Her eyes found Natalie first, then they found me. I will never forget Emma's expression. Not because she looked ashamed, because she looked confused. She could not understand why I was there. She still believed I had come to stop her. "Owen?" "Hi, Emma. What are you doing here?" "Making sure you understood that I'm not stopping you." Julian turned toward Natalie. "Natalie, this is not." "Don't," she said. Her voice was low. That made it stronger. "Do not insult me by saying it is not what it looks like." Julian looked toward Emma. Emma stepped away from him. "You told her?" "I gave her the facts. You had no right. Neither of you had the right to build a trip on lies and expect everyone else to stay quiet." Natalie pulled out her phone. "I saw the messages," she said to Julian. "I saw the hotel reservation. I saw the way you talked about me." Julian's face changed. "I was going to explain. You were going to Paris." Around us, people began to notice. I kept my voice low. This was not a show. It was an ending. Emma stepped toward me. Owen, please. We can go home and talk. We can talk later. So you want me to come home? I looked at her. I want you to make your own decision. But you need to understand something before you do. This morning, I filed for temporary financial protections. Emma stopped moving. You filed? The accounts are protected. Hannah's college fund is protected. The house is protected until we resolve this properly. You are free to board that plane, but you are not free to take our future with you. Emma stared at me. For the first time since I had found the ticket, she looked like she understood the difference between a secret and a consequence. You planned this. No, you planned this. I responded to it. Julian picked up his suitcase. Emma, we should go. She looked at him, then at Natalie, then at me. What happens if I go? I don't know, but I know what happens if you keep lying. There will be nothing left to talk about. Final boarding call for flight 318 to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Julian walked toward the gate. He did not look back at Natalie. He did not look back at Emma. He chose the easiest exit in the room. Emma watched him go. Her boarding pass was still in her hand. He's leaving? He's been leaving people behind for a long time. Natalie stood beside me, not because we were allies by choice, but because betrayal had made us witnesses to the same lie. I'm sorry, she said. So am I. Emma did not board the plane. She stood there until the gate door closed. Then she sat down in one of the plastic airport chairs and cried. I did not sit beside her, not because I hated her, because I could not be the man who comforted her from the consequences of hurting me. Huh, 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 huh. Natalie and I left the terminal separately. Outside, the morning air was cold and clean. She stopped beside her car. What do you do now? I go home to my daughter. She nodded. I hope you find peace. You too. I drove home alone. I expected to feel empty. I expected to feel defeated. Instead, I felt tired, but clear. The divorce process took time. There were meetings, documents, mediated conversations, difficult discussions about the house, parenting schedules, and all the small practical pieces of a life that had once felt permanent. I never used Hannah against Emma, and never told Hannah the details of the affair. I told her the truth she needed. Her parents had made serious adult mistakes, and neither parent would stop loving her. Emma apologized many times. She said Paris had been a fantasy. She said Julian had made her feel younger. She said she had felt invisible in our marriage. Maybe some of that was true, but feeling invisible does not give someone permission to erase another person's trust. Julian never came back into her life. Natalie told Emma he had returned from Paris 2 days later. He had gone alone. Apparently, the romance became less exciting when the lies had nowhere left to hide. 6 months after the airport, our divorce was finalized. Emma moved into a small apartment near the school where she taught. Hannah stayed with me during the week and spent weekends with Emma. We learned new routines, different routines. On our 16th anniversary, I made a reservation at Bellini's again. I did not know why at first. Maybe I wanted to prove I could walk into that restaurant without being destroyed by it. Maybe I wanted to reclaim one evening from a memory that had taken too much. I sat at the same table by the window. The pianist was there. The lights were low. Rain touched the glass outside, just as it had the year before. The hostess asked if someone would be joining me. No, I said, just me. And for the first time in a long time, I did not feel lonely when I said it. I ordered the same meal, pasta for dinner, espresso after. Then I took the small jewelry box from my pocket. I had kept it for a year. The necklace inside still carried the date Emma and I met. I did not give it to her. I did not throw it away either. I took it home and placed it in a drawer, not as a promise, not as a punishment, just as proof that something could be meaningful once, even if it was not meant to last forever. That second plane ticket did not destroy my marriage. The lies had already done that. The ticket simply showed me where the truth was going, and once I saw it, I stopped asking someone else to choose me. I chose myself. If this story moved you, subscribe for more stories about betrayal, boundaries, and finding your way back to yourself. And tell us in the comments, would you have confronted your spouse at the restaurant or waited until the airport?
Last thing by morning coffee, dashboard hums with distant voices, breaths echo, tension in my jaw. Loose bills, keys tangle, side pockets one thing. Phone chirps with questions I might never answer. Sun cuts through tinted regrets. Plans rerouted, fingerprints on last night's receipt. Old names flare and brief notification. We trade honesty for comfort, one laugh at a time. Counting all the reasons I keep moving. Borrowed peace burns behind plastic lenses. I frame each mistake with silence. My stride, stubborn glaze with intent. If you see me, let me pass. Truth ride, shotgun and doubt fills a trunk. Every glance a test. I'm just a story behind tinted glass. Rolling out no map, no warning. No warning. New codes, old habits, jacket heavy with memory. She leans in with eyes that see through stunts. We laugh too loud so her won't catch up. Promises undone by sunrise. Caffeine worship receipts for feeling spent. Empty benches and inside jokes. We keep moving before history gets too close. Eyes closed, engine whispers are there. Questions line the edge of tomorrow. Heard my own conviction in distant street noise. Sketches, routes the GPS can't find. Let the wheel spell out my secrets. Splinters of truth on passing signs. I'm searching for a reason that feels like skin. If you notice, don't look back. Windows down, new day waiting. Steps echo in fresh concrete. Nothing on, nothing left beyond. Just a distance and the will to begin.